One interesting thing happened yesterday because, again, I just moved into my new place and I had to get Wi-Fi for my place because I was using just my cell phone. And to get on my computer and stuff, I was using what we call a hotspot. You guys probably call it the same thing, but just in case you don't, a hotspot is like when you use your cell phone data and you turn your cell phone like into a Wi-Fi router. So you can connect other devices to the data on your cell phone and use the internet that way. So I connect my computer to my phone and I can get on the internet via my computer. The problem with that is the cell phone carrier I had 2 days ago, Mint Mobile, was abso-fucking-lutely trash in my place. The reception was so bad. The internet was so slow. And it's probably going to sound really privileged, but I don't think of it that way. I just think my personality type, like, I can be very patient in certain circumstances. I mean, I was a teacher for many years, so you have to be patient. But that's different. When it comes to like devices and internet and shit, I cannot deal with slow internet or slow electronics, bro. It drives me up the fucking wall. Bro, you want to see me lose my cool? Like, you may think, having never met me, listening to this podcast, Tony's a cool dude. Laid back, he's chill. You know what I'm saying? He's got a couple jokes in him. You know what I'm saying? He's a cool guy. I fuck with him. I like him. It's nice. But if you want to see a different side of me, give me a slow electronic device with a shitty internet connection, and you will see me lose my shit. I promise you. It makes me irrationally mad, bro. I can't lie to you. It makes me so fucking mad. So I was like, I can't. I was doing that for like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, and was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I gotta go get some Wi-Fi. I'm gonna bite the bullet and pay for the Wi-Fi. And bite the bullet means, especially when we're talking about spending money, like bite the bullet means like make the decision to spend money on something that you don't want to spend money on. So I just decided to bite the bullet and fucking get the Wi-Fi router, and now life is fantastic. I got fast internet on all my devices. I can surf the web. I can stream, download shit, upload shit. I can do everything I need to do. So no more delays when it comes to uploading YouTube videos, because there was no way I was doing that with my cell phone data. It would have taken 6 days, you know. But anyway, speaking of that, I went to the fucking internet store, the T-Mobile store specifically, yesterday to get this Wi-Fi thing. And so before I went, I called them on the phone just to do a bit of shopping, let's say. I was comparing prices of different internet providers and what the benefits and features are and everything, just to make sure I'm getting a good deal or the best possible deal. So I called the store and I'm asking the lady about the internet plans and switching my phone over to save money. So now I got T-Mobile, blah, blah, blah. And then she says, we're located at this place. We'll be open until this time. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go over there, I do some shopping, get some supplies for my house, and the internet provider place or the cell phone place is right next to that shopping center. So I walk over there and I walk up to the counter and I ask for the lady by name because I remembered her name. I was like, yeah, we spoke on the phone, blah, blah, blah. She's like, okay. And so we get started. She's helping me. She's setting up my account and everything, and just randomly, unprompted, it's not like I asked her about it. She was looking down at my phone, messing with the settings and shit. She was like, you want to know something funny? I said, yeah, sure, what? And she was like, when I was talking to you on the phone, I thought you were a white man. I looked at her kind of puzzled. I mean, I knew where she was going with it or where she was coming from, but it's just a random thing to say. So I kind of stopped and look at her like, the fuck? And I was like, why? And she said, no, just the way you talk, like the way you communicate. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Now, to you listening, not being from I assume you're not from the U.S. If you're listening to this, you might be asking yourself, well, what is the point of that story? Like, why did he tell us that? And what does she mean? Like, why does she think you were a white guy? And this is a very interesting thing about American culture and American English, because I don't even know where to start. I probably talked about this on the podcast before, But in case you're new here, we're going to revisit this topic because it just happened yesterday and it really made me laugh. We have this idea in the United States of talking like a white person or talking like a black person, even talking like a Latino person or an Asian person, because unlike a country like Brazil that is also multicultural, the U.S. is multicultural, but in a very fragmented, kind of segregated way. Just because of the history of our country. When you think back to when the African slaves were brought over here and they were really interacting amongst themselves and then with their slave owners, from the very beginning of the United States of America, things have been divided or segregated. And what naturally happens when you segregate two groups of people is two distinct cultures develop. And if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I've always said culture and language are very hard to separate. Like the culture of the people determines how the language is spoken. It determines how the language is used. It determines slang and expressions and grammar and all those things. That's why American and British people do not talk the same. Same language, but we don't talk the same. I know nothing I'm saying is novel. I know this is all obvious to you, but it's giving context to the story I'm telling you. So over time, all these centuries, even after slavery was quote unquote abolished, you had legal segregation. So black people weren't legally considered slaves anymore, but were still legally required to remain segregated from white people. So you had black schools and white schools, black water fountains and white water fountains. Black people couldn't sit next to white people on the bus, for example. There was separation everywhere you went, which maintained that division of language and culture in the United States. And I'm just talking about black and white. We're not talking about Asians, Latinos, Middle Eastern people, or anything like that. I know much less about those cultures when we're talking about the U.S. I'm speaking specifically about black and white. And so what happened was black people, well, really Africans that came over here, not only had to learn and speak what a lot of people would call broken English, but because of that, the English that a lot of black people speak today was heavily influenced by the English that was learned by African slaves hundreds of years ago. And then further developed during times of segregation, and then further developed just out of pure evolution. Every language develops over time, right? Or evolves, I should say. And so that's why you'll listen to a stereotypical white man from the U.S. and a stereotypical black man from the U.S., and they don't necessarily sound alike a lot of the times. Because even after segregation ended, it's not like everything just mixed together and you got black and white people living amongst each other the way they do in a place like Brazil. Like skin color, socioeconomic status, culture, these things are fragmented in strange ways that I haven't seen in other countries. I could be totally off base. Maybe it exists in your country as well. If it does, let me know in the comments because I'm very interested in stuff like this. But I'm trying to stay on topic. I feel myself rambling. What I'm saying is you have an idea that black and white people talk different in the U.S. Generally speaking. Generally speaking. And so white people are known for talking or speaking what's considered like standard, proper American English. They enunciate very well. They speak very clearly. Their grammar is good. They don't use too much slang. They speak what's known in the academic world as proper English, good English, professional English, standard English. And again, I'm generalizing because there's plenty of white people that don't fit that description. Just take a trip down south to fucking Mississippi or Alabama or Florida, go up to goddamn Boston or something like that, and you'll see not all white people talk the same. Because there's regional dialects and accents too, but I'm just generalizing across the board. And so a stereotypical black person is not known for speaking standard, proper American English. Linguists have even identified a dialect of English that is known as African American Vernacular English, or Black English, or Ebonics. All three of those terms describe the same dialect of English spoken by Black Americans, most Black Americans. And it doesn't sound like proper English or standard English. We have different accents, we have different expressions, slang, even grammar structure sometimes. And it's not that the rest of the country can't understand it, at least completely. It's just that it's different. It's not right or wrong, it's just different. It's not the standard, academically speaking. And so I think, like, if you listen to the podcast, a lot of people, most people that give me feedback on this show say it's so much easier to understand me than the average American, especially the average Black American. And I think that's because although I speak and understand Black English, most of the time, my natural way of speaking is like the way I'm talking to you now. Maybe a little bit faster depending on who I'm talking to. I'll use more slang and expressions depending on who I'm talking to because I'm always keeping my audience in mind. So I'm not going to use a bunch of slang and expressions with you if I know you're not going to understand them, or I'm going to have to spend 30 minutes trying to explain it to you. I'm going to just speak in a more standard way so that you understand what I'm saying. So anyway, what this lady was trying to say is you don't sound or talk like the stereotypical Black person, especially not one from the South. So on the phone, you can't see me, and I speak very clearly. I enunciate. I was very polite as well. So in her mind, she's like, this can't be a Black man talking to me. Not with that voice, not with that grammar, not with that pronunciation, not with that communication style. You sound like a white dude. And to me, it's just interesting to think about the cultural aspect of that. Because even like as a Black kid growing up, like kids want to fit in. Kids want to seem cool. They want to do what the other kids are doing. And if you don't talk like the stereotypical Black kid from the inner city or something like that, if you're not speaking stereotypical Black English, which, let's be honest, sounds cooler, especially these days, like hip-hop has had such a big influence on the way people talk, the way people dress, the way people think. And so that's why a lot of people will try to imitate that way of speaking because it sounds cool. Like Black culture is cool as shit. And so growing up as a Black kid, if you don't fit into that mold, even Black people will say you talk white. If you're a Black kid and you grew up in a decent family, decent neighborhood, and all those things, good education, and you don't speak in the stereotypical Black way, Black people will have some kind of reservation about that. It's not always hatred based, but it's almost like they make fun of you for not speaking like a Black person, like you're trying to sound like a white person, as if you think you're too good to talk and act and think like Black people, which is what you should be doing because you're Black. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of educated Black kids who don't talk in that stereotypical way have been told at some point or another, you sound white, you talk like a white kid. You're Black white, you know? Describing that idea that because you're speaking standard English and enunciating every word and you don't have a strong accent, you're somehow less Black. And that's fascinating to me. As a Black kid, that's never something you want to hear growing up, that you sound white. But as you get older and you mature, you realize on one hand, you understand why they say it, and on the other hand, you're like, that's dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? Obviously. Me talking the way I talk doesn't make me any less Black, because like it or not, this Black ain't coming off, bruh. You know what I mean? If anything, you're just one of the, I like to think, rare individuals that isn't necessarily defined by the color of their skin and the culture that's attached to it. And I don't know if this topic is making any sense to somebody who's not from the U.S. because color and ethnicity and culture interact with each other in different ways in other countries. So I don't know if this is even landing for you. I don't even know if this is making sense to you right now. But it was just something curious that happened yesterday that I wanted to share with you. Maybe in a future episode, we'll dive deeper into that. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you want to hear me speak more about that. But it made me laugh, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a good story for the podcast. I thought you were a white man. Just, and I don't even know if I communicated clearly enough how fucking random it was. Like, it was quiet. She's on my phone messing with some shit and doesn't even look at me when she says it. She's like, you want to know something funny? When I was talking to you on the phone, I thought you were a white man. And just kept doing what she was doing. I'm like, okay, nice to meet you too, ma'am. But yeah, now you should, I shouldn't say understand, but maybe now it makes a bit more sense why it's much easier to understand me than the stereotypical Black American man.